Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's discussion, we're going to continue our discussion on SA200. In the last video, we had discussed the overview of SA200, overall objectives of the independent auditor and the conduct of an audit in accordance with standards of auditing. So, we had already discussed that the essay is divided into two parts. The first part being overall objective of audit and the second part being the requirements as per SA200. So, what are the requirements? We read by one. There was ethical requirements, and in ethical requirements we had code of ethics and independence. In today's lecture we will understand these both in detail. We had already discussed code of ethics in detail in the previous video itself, but however we hadn't discussed who issues them. So let's discuss that now. So basically the ICI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, is the body which issues the code of ethics including independence. The fundamental principle of code of ethics are as follows, which were discussed in the previous video before. Plus independence, the points of mind of in appearance were discussed below in the previous video. If you haven't watched it already, please go and do watch the video before you watch this one. Let's understand the meaning of independence now. What is independence? Independence basically implies that the judgment of a person. Which person is the definition talking about here? Is talking about the auditor. Is talking about the auditor, chartered accountant. Independence implies that the judgment of a person means the judgment of a chartered accountant or auditor is not, very important, is not subordinate. Not subordinate to what? Two things. To the wishes and directions of another person. To two things. Implies that the judgment of a person, auditor, is not subordinate to two things: wishes, directions of another person, which is what or who's another person here? It is a client. Okay, another person means the client who might have engaged him, that is, who might have offered him some of money, engaged him with the engagement letter. Okay, so basically independence implies the judgment of a person is not subordinate to what? Wishes and directions of another person who might have engaged him, who might have employed him to do the task. Okay, so understand this with an example. Suppose you are an auditor, CA A. Okay, CA A. Your name is CA ABC. Okay, so your name is CA ABC and you are doing an audit for the company A Limited. Okay, so when you're doing the audit for A Limited's manager comes to you. Okay, and tells you, auditor sahab, ABC auditor, I want to tell you that you have to give me this report, you have to give me this opinion, only then we'll have good proper financial statements. You have to cover our fraud. He is showing his wishes to you that he wants to cover the fraud. He is saying you that you have to do it in this way, that he's directing you. No, you're doing accounting estimate, we have done correctly, you should not question that if we ask you all these questions. Basically he's giving you a direction to do this, do that. Okay, and not just that, he's showing his wishes, desires in a way that he is influencing you and intimidating you. So as an auditor you cannot allow that to happen. Okay, so that is where you become dependent on him. So your independence will be lost over there, and therefore your audit report will not be really accepted in a proper way. If the people get to know, the users get to know, they will not be accepted in a proper way. So independence implies that the judgment of a person, that is a chartered accountant, is not subordinate to the wishes and directions of another person, which means the client, who might have engaged him, means who might have employed him, who might have given him this engagement offer, who might have given him the cash to carry on the audit. Okay, in this case client is A Limited, the person who's engaged him also A Limited, and the managers and the authority of HR department hiring the auditor. Okay, judgment of a person is the chartered accountant itself. So independence definition is very much clear now, but let's understand independence of mind and in appearance meaning. Okay, so independence of mind, it is the state of mind that permits, it is the state of mind, independence of mind means state of mind that permits provision of opinion without being influenced, and it thus allows the auditor to act with three things: integrity, professional skepticism, and objectivity. Integrity and objectivity were discussed in Code of Ethics. Integrity means to have good proper moral standards. Professional skepticism is going to have a separate video, but here I can say in one just again, it is the attitude of questioning mind. You should be able to ask questions to the client. Okay. Objectivity means saying the truth always. So being a truthful person. So basically, independence of mind means what? It is a state of mind. Independence of mind is, it is a state of mind that permits provision of opinion without being influenced. It is a state of mind which allows basically the auditor to express an opinion on the financial statements without being influenced, in our case with the manager of A Limited. Okay, and thus allows auditor to act with integrity, professional skepticism and objectivity. If he is not being influenced, will allow him to act in what way? It will allow the auditor to act with full integrity, full moral standards, full objectivity, full truthfulness and professional skepticism, and to ask the questions he needs to ask with the questioning mind to the managers of A Limited. Okay, so independence of mind is very simple. It is a state of mind that permits provision of opinion without being influenced by anyone. Okay, and it thus allows the auditor to act with three things: integrity, objectivity and professional skepticism. Now let's understand independence in appearance. Independence in appearance, it means avoidance of facts and circumstances that may cause a third party to believe that integrity, professional skepticism and objectivity are compromised. So basically, again I want to give you a good example. Now again, there's a company which is a client of yours. Now you're going to audit for that. You are CA ABC. Company's name is A Limited again. Okay, and now you're going to do audit, but in that company A Limited, your dad is an investor. He is a user of financial statements of that company and he's an investor. And if you give a good audit report on that company A Limited, your dad will be benefit because the value of shares will go up and he will have a increase in the money he gets if he sells them, right? So now your independence will be questioned. Firstly you come to independence of mind. Your independence of mind is that you should not be influenced by the situation. You should still give a proper audit report. If it's bad, you should give bad. If it's good, you should give good. Now, in independence in appearance, what happens? Even though you are doing good, the other users of financial statements, like the government or anyone who gets to know that your dad is a part of the firm as a shareholder and you're auditing the same firm, they might question your integrity, they might question your objectivity, they might question your professional skepticism. They'll question if it's compromised because your dad is a shareholder on that firm. So basically, independence in appearance means that the auditor should just basically avoidance of facts and circumstances that may cause a third party to believe that. You have to avoid in any way possible. You should try to not audit such firms in which your dad is a shareholder. Firstly, even if you are, keep it very confidential. Make sure that it's under the wraps, and even then you should make sure that it doesn't influence your audit opinion. You should give audit opinion based on what you see, what you have observed in the financial statements, what is the truth. You have to have moral standards, you have to have a questioning mind. Everything should be taken care of. So basically, just avoid what others says. Just like in life, people will tell blah 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 blah. It's just the important stuff you should take, and the rest important you should leave it. Okay, so it means avoidance of facts and circumstances that may cause a third party. It may cause a third party to think or believe that your integrity is compromised, your professional skepticism is compromised, and your objective are compromised. But you should avoid that fact and circumstances to occur from. Even if it occurs, you should make sure that it's conveyed properly, that you are not getting influenced by it, and you're giving a proper audit opinion. Okay. Thank you so much. So this video has discussed the complete requirement under SA 200 of ethical requirements, which was divided in code of ethics and independence. And now in this video we have understood the meaning of independence in detail. We have understood the meaning of independence of mind in detail with example, and we have understood the meaning of independence in appearance with an example. Hope it helped you all. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and do leave your comments in the comment section below. Please give me your feedbacks and keep commenting on the video request if you have, so I can look into it and upload the same. Thank you so much guys. Bye. Happy learning.